Good evening and welcome to my new online TV talk show, I Have a Dream Too, Empowering You. And today is a very special show because it is the day before my birthday. And so today this evening, I have a great guest, Mr. Nathan Best, who is a Grammy Award winning artist. He is a legendary OJ's singer, and he also has a new CD out called The Center of My Life. So I want to welcome Mr. Nathan here this evening, who's going to talk about his new CD and all the good stuff that's happening in his life. So thank you.
You're very
Welcome. Thank you for joining me on this very special day. I appreciate you taking the time out in Mississippi, that is, okay, to be able to come in and just, talk to us about what's happening in your life. And thank you.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. This new CD, The Center of My Life, where did this all come about? As a former singer and so forth.
It came forth because I wanted to do a project that would basically let the world know where Nathan stands now. For so long I've done, the R&B music and everything, but I wanted people to know that there was a shifting in my life that took place, and that's the real reason why I even left my group, the OJs. It was for ministry, and so I wanted to say how I feel now and where my life is, and that's how the project came about.
Right. And so just to kind of dispel any rumors, you left because you had a higher calling, a higher spiritual calling?
Absolutely. It was for ministry because Eddie LeVert, Walter Williams, that's my family, and it always will be. Even the guy that took my place, Eric Nolan, who was a great guy. He's keeping a legacy going, and so, but it was for ministry for me.
Okay. And so this CD, that The Center of My Life, and again, it sounds like it's somewhere along the line where it brought balance to you because you have grown up in a singing family, career family, in the music industry and so forth. Just talk a little bit about that and where that brings you to today.
Well, I started in gospel music with my mom on Chess Records. She gave me an opportunity to lead a song on her first record called Try Him, and the song was called I Want Jesus to Walk With Me. She started us all at 3. At 3 years old in our house, she had to start singing. And so she would train us at 3, and then we'd go on tour with her. And so, my life was following that direction. I didn't really want to do it at that time, and I didn't realize that was what I was born to do until later in life. But as I began to do the journey with Mom, then I started, as I got a little older, I played for my dad's church, the organ. And then once I got out on my own, I started playing for a very famous songwriter and pastor named Walter Hawkins and his brother, Edwin Hawkins, who wrote Oh Happy Day.
Yes.
So that was a great experience for me. And then from there, I went to the R&B field, of course, with Mickey Howard and then LeVert. So it was just a great opportunity for me to enjoy that music once I started really loving what I was doing. And then I got with the OJs. And then after the OJs, a lot of people didn't know that I did the movie Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, which took me into another direction, which was country, bluegrass music. And and I wrote a song for that, and it was just a great experience. But now my life has come full circle because what I was originally called to do is where I am now, and I tell you, money can't buy that, and so I'm happy. I'm really happy.
Right. So actually, you have redefined your purpose. You had a purpose as a younger gentleman, and now where you are today, you've redefined your purpose, your place, and your possibilities. So you talk about ministry. Where is that at for you right now?
Well, because I actually brought my first message at the age of 12 at my dad's church. And so all of that was still motivating me to, I needed to get back. It was still something pulling at me, and there was an emptiness in me, even though I was out there doing the R&B thing on that level. And so, to be back into ministry, I feel such a completeness in my life. I'm able to help people in so many different, areas because of what I lived in that during that time in my life. So ministry is great for me. I love church where I pastor and all my beautiful members there. So, yeah.
Okay. And I see you smiling, glowing when you talk about the ministry. And so one of the things about the show is empowerment. And when you redefine that purpose, that passion that's inside of you, and
Yeah.
it spreads to amongst other people, it's the joy that comes with it. The burden has been lifted, so to speak. Sometimes it's not always a burden, but you know that there's something not quite right, but there's something else that you're called to do. So
Absolutely.
this is what my show is about. I have a dream too, basically meaning that the dream still has to be realized. And being able to share with everyone that even where you were with the OJs, legendary OJs and so forth, and while that was a wonderful, wonderful experience and all the things that came with the OJs and the family togetherness with it, there still was that need to say, I got to do something else.
Absolutely, because it brought balance to me once I said to that, and I mean, I was able to accomplish, but not all of the things that I wanted to accomplish when I was in the OJs. It wasn't until I said yes to what I was originally called to do in my life that the other things that I had been chasing all along while I was there came to me. It was just like I always wanted to win a Grammy. I never won that with my group, the OJs. But once I gave into what my original call was, I was able to get with a group called the Fairfield Four. And from there, I was able to win 4 Grammys in one night for the movie Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? So
Wow.
everything that I was chasing when I was out there, it didn't come to me until I fulfilled my purpose, why I'm here. And then the other things started coming that I wanted for myself, but I had to yield to what I was called to do. And that's why I'm really excited about where I am now. Yeah.
So now, do you have your own church?
I do. I
That's
do. And in fact, this coming Sunday, I'll be celebrating completing my 4th year anniversary at my church, St. Matthew Baptist Church. And I tell you, they've been working so hard this week. I just love them so much. And it's a bonding that we have with each other because, for one thing, you never use the pulpit to lash out at people. You always show love. You overcome evil with good. And so this is what grows the church, love. And so I love all of my family at St. Matthew. They're beautiful.
And where's that particular church located?
It's in Starkville, Mississippi. I'm in Mississippi. I never thought I would be in Mississippi, but I'm in Mississippi, and I love being here. I love the catfish. I love the people.
And why do you say you thought you never would be in Mississippi?
I really didn't. I thought I would either be in Las Vegas or Los Angeles or New York or something, but God had a purpose for my life here, and I never expected. That's why when you say yes to your call, yes to what God would have you to do, He'll put you in places that you never thought you would be, but you just have to be willing to say yes. And because I said yes, it enabled me to be with people that love me and that we love them, and it's just a good marriage, so to speak. It's a good connection.
Right. So actually, it was pushing through those barriers, those fears, whatever challenges or obstacles. Oftentimes, people fall into that trap, so to speak. And so we can, your message of where you were and the fame and the notoriety, but the message that you can share with people is that you can do this. And I'm sure you had maybe some fears, some questions in terms of whether or not this is really the right thing. But we want to be able to empower people that there are those possibilities. If you just speak a little bit on that.
Well, one of the main things that I try to let people know that when things, always remember that it was God that did it for you. A lot of people look at me and they say, well, wow, Nathan, you have this and you have this and you accomplished this and you accomplished that. And quickly I give God the glory for it. And I let them know not because of who I am, but whose I am. And because I recognize where my source is, where I recognize where my strength and my power and everything that happens for me comes from, it enables God to trust me with more. It enables him to say, okay, well, I can give this person more because I know that when they're blessed, they're going to give me the glory for it. And I just feel that's the way I feel about it. And so I try to teach that as much as I can to many people and let them know that no matter where you are right now in your life, there's always an opportunity for you to get up and start over. So.
Right. And you just said it. No matter where you are in your life, there's always that opportunity to get up and start over. And so, as we know, God gives you a second chance. He gives you many chances to be able to move forward, to push forward. Yes. Right. Yeah. It can happen to anybody. You just have to believe in it and have the faith base that you can do these things. So when we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to talk about the new CD that you have out, The Center of My Life. Okay, we'll take a break right now. Thank you.
Stretching under sedation or manipulation under anesthesia is a very gentle, very precise procedure to very slowly release any scar tissue that is formed as a result of a traumatic injury. Many people ask, how does this work? Will I get hurt? Will you stretch me too far? We only stretch the body part to its normal range of motion. After completing the post-MUA rehabilitation program, it's very common that our patients say to us, hey, I can play ball with my kid again. Hey, I can bowl again. Hey, I can enjoy hiking again. This is what makes it rewarding to us as practitioners.
Are you planning an event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn? Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act 1 will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure. You'll be happy you did.
Shannon Gates is the #1 fence provider on Long Island with the most inventory in stock, including vinyl, chain link, and aluminum. Gates offers a custom powder-coated system that prevents rust throughout the life of the fence. We carry fence tools to the trade. We even stock wood, rail, and glass hardware as well. Shannon Gates has our very own patented locking system. The next time you need fencing of any sort, both commercial and private, give Shannon Gates a call at 631-392-4330. You can also visit our website at shannongatesinc.com. Shannon Gates is the #1 fence provider online.
Welcome back to I Have a Dream 2, Empowering You. And I'm here with a special gentleman, Mr. Nathan Best, as I said, legendary singer with the OJs, Grammy Award-winning artist. And so now he has redefined his purpose. He's now a minister. And he had a spiritual and a higher calling that led him to this place of ministry and developing a CD called The Center of My Life. So let's talk about Center of My Life CD.
Yeah, Center of My Life is a very special project for me because it enables me to be able to share with the public where I am right now and where I am in my life. And so, yeah, it's a great project, and I love it. I love it. I love doing it. I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. How did you come up with the name?
Well, again, it had everything to do with where I'm at, what I wanted to convey to my fans or everywhere. I want to let them know that Christ is the center of my life. And so I wanted to be able to share that with everyone, exactly where I am at this point in my life. So.
Okay. And so what can people expect to hear on the CD? Some of the songs.
One of the things that I wanted to do is target people people that are really dealing with things, and sometimes, church people can make things so difficult for you when it's not that difficult. It's very simple to accept your life with Christ. They make it very difficult. Well, I may not be able to attain that because I have to do this or I have to do that. But when you have a relationship with Christ, accepts you as you are, and you study His Word, and you begin to grow. It's a daily process. So it's an everyday journey. To get stronger and stronger in your faith, and to be able to let go of things that had strongholds on you. And so that this project is one song in particular. I'm dealing with a song called "God Forgave Me," because there were some things that I did in my life that I knew I wasn't proud of, but I did it. And but when man doesn't forgive you, God will, and that's what I love. I felt security when I got delivered from people and what people think about me, and I had to really allow myself to be engulfed in my faith and in what I believe. And so God Forgave Me was a great song for me to write and do. So, it's songs like that. And then I even have a song on there about love, because sometimes, people feel like that's a old hat or you shouldn't talk about it that much. But my wife and I in April will be 35 years we've been married.
Oh,
and
wonderful.
we still have a very passionate and loving relationship. And so I wanted to write something that centered around that. In fact, I have a video coming out later this month that's going to be dealing with our love song off my project, Valentine's Day. So it's different things on it like that.
Okay, so you're dealing with love, you're dealing with spiritual, you're dealing with uplifting. So there's a variety of music in there that speaks about the center of your life, the center, the balance in your life. And so is there any one particular song that you could give us a little solo a cappella right now that, comes to mind that you could just sing right now?
Well, actually, the title of the CD is called Center of My Life.
Right.
And I'm looking forward to doing that on the road. It's just a keyboard and guitar. But it says, you are the center of my life. And everything about you says love. You are the center of my life. And everything about you says love. Every time I wake up, it's because of you. Every breath I take, it's because of you. Every move I make, it's because of you. And no one else could love me more. You are the center of my life, and everything about you says love.
Oh, wonderful. Very nice. Like that, like that, like that. So the CD is already out, and people can find that on...
They can get it through Amazon. They can get it on iTunes. They can go through Reverb Nation or SoundCloud.com and type in Nathan Best, and they can listen to some of the songs, pre-listen. And, please, I encourage you to get it. I think it'll be a great blessing to you.
Great,
Don't
great.
judge anyone, and just let you know that, hey, you can, it's spitefully done things against you. You can still reach out to them.
And your website, you have a website also where people can also look at, you talked about an upcoming video.
Yes, www.nathanbestmusic.com. www.nathanbestmusic.com. They can go on there, and so we're just grateful that we can be able to reach out to people in this manner. And I want to thank you too.
Oh, thank you. I feel completely honored, to be able to reach someone of such status and to be able to appear on my show and be able to share the very same message which I'm trying to spread across the world about redefining your purpose and that pushing through certain challenges, and we have disbeliefs and things that make us feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
But you are one of those people that can provide a testimony that no matter what your status is, okay,
Yes.
you are able to say, I have something else that provides me center of my life.
Absolutely.
Center of my life. So that's what we talk about, and with I have a dream too is something that you probably would say maybe not in those words, but now you can see how it all fits together. I have a dream too. And it's being able to share that amongst people, and the love that you have for music, for your ministry, as a human being and your family. I think, many people need to continue to hear your story, but also to dispel any kind of stories that you left the OJs because there was, conflict, etc. Is because, again, I'll say it, for a higher spiritual calling. And for you to be able to produce this message of ministry and your new CD. So we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
My name is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching, doing it to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. If you find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
Guys, ready for the show? Yeah. Enjoy it.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Do dogs chase cats?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Good evening and welcome back to my show. I Have a Dream 2 online TV talk show. And I have a new guest here, Mr. Cheyenne Bostock. I was going to get it right, but welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you for coming. I've heard so much about you, and I definitely said I must have you on your show. I see what you're doing in terms of your book, and we're going to get into all of that. And when I talked to you on the phone about the show and about appearing on the show, I told you, I said I had gotten chills because it was a lot of the information and the message that you're trying to get out there that I said that would be a great compliment to my show. So, how did this all get started for you?
First of all, thank you so much for having me on the show. It's a great pleasure. And just a little bit about my journey.
Yes.
I feel like everyone needs to take a spiritual journey and just take that walk of faith. And for me, I had to hit my rock bottom before I even thought of taking this walk. So back in 2011, I found myself in a relationship that was going downhill. Not just my relationship, but my finances, my complete focus was just all over the place. And I found myself living in a homeless shelter. And for me, that was my rock bottom. And you know what happens in that rock bottom? It's a lonely, dark, cold place. But it's the only place we'll listen to God. And when I was in that lonely place, I was able to focus because I had no one distracting me. I didn't have a relationship. I didn't have my family members. I didn't have my friends. I had no one to impress, no one to take me off of my focus. So at that moment, I said, you know what? I need to figure this thing out. I was like, what am I doing here? Not just in a homeless shelter, but what am I doing here on this earth?
Right.
I was saying to myself, yeah, what is my purpose? You know, if I were to, Lord forbid, die today, would anyone know? Would anyone care? Would my life have meant anything to this world? And the sad thing was, the answer was no. So I said, I can't go out like that. I need to figure this thing out. And then, so while I was in the homeless shelter, I'm applying to 100 jobs a day, trying to figure out where am I going to work? You know, whose life am I going to change next? And I couldn't get a shot. The interviews weren't rolling in, the jobs weren't rolling in. So God spoke to me, he said, maybe it's time you stop looking for people to hire you and start doing the hiring. And I was like,
Okay, that's right.
I received it. But then I wanted to know how. How do I do this? And so God said, I want you to go and volunteer at a nonprofit organization. Now, the first thing that came to my mind was, I'm broke. I'm in a homeless shelter.
Right.
I have no roof over my head, no money, no
Volunteer,
food.
right?
I don't have time to go volunteer. But I said to myself, maybe this is what got me in the homeless shelter in the first place, being selfish with my time and my resources. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to go do it. I'm going to go do it. So I went and I filled out a volunteer application and I submitted my resume. And when they saw my resume, they said, we don't want you to volunteer. We want to hire you full time.
Wow.
So I said, wow, was this what God was trying to show me all along? That when I'm giving of my time and my energy and my resources that I get blessed? I said, well, I'm going to try this forever.
Right.
So I started to use that in my coaching. I started to, while I was in the homeless shelter, I would coach people. And it started from me coaching myself. I was talking about my relationship and people just related. And over time, I would get people to send me their questions. I didn't call myself a life and relationship coach or expert or anything. I was just helping people. And from helping people, it just felt so good to see that look in their eyes, that breath, that weight off their shoulders from me helping them get through their problems. And what ended up happening was I became so overwhelmed with helping other people, I had to place value on it. So I said, I'm going to turn this passion into a source of income. And Ash Shabi was born.
Okay. Ask Shy B now. Okay, and now you call yourself a life relationship expert, and so you have a book.
Yes.
Actually, this is your second book. But the one that I caught attention to was Break Every Chain.
Yes.
All right, and so that book, and you can talk about that. That book is specifically designed for men.
Yes.
Talk about that.
This book is definitely for men. I have a 7-year-old son. And when I look at him, I just see myself. I mean, he looks just like me.
Yeah, he does.
Walks like me, talks like me. And the way he looks at me, the other day he said something to me. We were just on the phone casually talking, and then he told me about an experience at school. And then at the end of what he told me, he said, I told you because I wanted you to be proud of me. And I was like, wow, something just so small means so much to him. He looks at me for such validation. This is a huge blessing, and I can't mess this up.
Right.
And my father passed away when I was 1 year old. So I didn't have anyone to say, Daddy, I told you this little bit of information from my day because I wanted you to be proud of me. So I missed that, and I don't want my son to miss it. But tomorrow's not promised. So this book, Break Every Chain, is that confirmation for my son and all the sons out there who don't have a father, who didn't have a big brother, who didn't have a mentor. They open up this book, Break Every Chain, and they're going to hear different stories from throughout my life of how I got through all of these situations, not having a father to teach me how to manage money, how to talk to a lady, how to carry myself as a man, how to tie a tie. I talked to them about how to get through this, and you can't use that as an excuse to not be a man. You have to break that chain.
Right.
And I'm breaking that chain for my son.
Right. And so this book, as you said, Break Every Chain, is almost like a freedom, so to speak, that can break the precursor for many of our young boys who end up in jail or older as unemployed, on drugs, etc. So by you doing this is helping them to motivate them, empower them, okay, in terms of being able not to fall in those statistics, I would say. And the spiritual guidance, I'm sure that you're lending to them as well, because without God, you would not be here with what you have done so far. And that's what we would talk about with Nathan Bez, who, you know, as we talked about him redefined his purpose, because you had to redefine your purpose.
Absolutely.
Where am I going with this? What do I going to give to my son, my legacy? Okay, which is so important. And your son is going to emulate you because you will make sure of that. But as I was saying with Nathan Best as well, he redefined his purpose. He was with the OJs, legendary, Grammy Award winner, artist and so forth. But he still didn't have balance in his life. And so your message, what you're doing in communities, I don't know if you're in the schools yet or about to be and so forth, this is what we need in society to be able to break those chains, because as you see, many of our young boys are actually committing heinous crimes. But the brokenness, if it would, addressed at a much younger age, perhaps they would have been, sidetracked or distracted, as you said. You didn't have anybody to distract you when you was homeless. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Definitely. I think that you brought up a very valid point, that our youth, they're actually crying for help.
Sure they are.
Absolutely.
When they act up in the streets, whether it's sagging their pants, whether it's using foul language, whether it's bullying someone, they're crying for help. They're saying, I wish a man would come and discipline me. Because in a lot of these households, the fathers aren't there.
Right.
So they're being raised by the mom, and a mother can only do so much.
That's right.
And they're looking for a man, this is the way boys are. I'll tell you, with my son, every time we see each other, he wants to roughhouse. He wants to play fight and all of that good stuff. It's a natural thing for boys. So when a young man doesn't have that, he creates it in his own way. He creates it. He will get attention somehow. It's all about figuring out a way to turn that energy into something positive and not land yourself in trouble, in jail, or worse, in the grave.
Nathan, did you have something that you wanted to mention?
Well, I was just thinking about what my brother was saying there. It's right where I am right now with our church, where it's important to me that not just me as a pastor, but that other men in our church will look after our young boys, because many of them in our church don't have fathers as well. And so actually we're building a park right now called Armorland, and on there we have different things. We have a pond for fishing. We want to teach them different things, show them positive sides of life. But the men in our church stand with me as far as mentoring and looking out for these young boys and taking time with them. You have to take time with them, because if you don't, the streets will. Mm-hmm. And so we want to be there for them and protect them, and also to show them that they can't have a productive life without Christ either. They need Christ in their life, and he must be the center of their life and first in their life. So we're teaching that while they're young, and of course, train up a child in the way when they're old, they won't depart from the teaching. And so I really love this interview today, and all the wonderful things that I'm hearing about this book. I've got to get this book.
Break every chain, okay? I like I said, I've seen it all Facebook and so forth, and I see you doing very, very well with it, and I like that idea, and being able to break the chain, because it's too much stuff going on today. Mm-hmm. And if we don't have somebody who can start the process and start the movement and start the challenge, and be able to read the step by step on how it's going to be, we're going to continue to see disasters.
Definitely. And I started a movement called Break Every Chain.
Yes.
I've been using that hashtag, and what I've been doing is I've been contacting clergy, public officials, entertainers, and videotaping them, asking them what chains they want to see broken in society. And I'm getting such different responses from each individual. It's awesome. And you can check those videos out on my YouTube at youtube.com/AskShyB. And it's a chain that's being broken for these individuals that I'm interviewing. And with some individuals, it takes them a few takes to get themselves together, because I'm tapping into a very, very emotional place, a place that not a lot of men tap into in front of another man. Mm-hmm. So when I'm asking them these questions, which I don't email them in advance, I ask them the questions right there on the spot. So they have to they have to be creative with coming up with information that they want to send to the world, because that's what we're hoping that these videos will reach. So I'm asking them, who are you? What's your relationship with the community, with other men? Are you mentoring? What do you see in your community? And what chains do you want to see broken in society? You might have grown up in the suburbs. You might not see violence. You might not see drug abuse, but you might see rape. Right. You might see something else that we don't see. Right. And it's a chain that you want to see broken where you live. Mm-hmm. So we're encouraging everyone to break a chain in their lives and join the movement.
Right. And that's really just knowing who you are as an individual, and what you won't tolerate anymore that you've been tolerating. But the only way you'll know that is if you really dig deep down inside and say, I will no longer tolerate this, and therefore I share my message as you're doing, to the world. That's really what that's about. So I know you have your Facebook page, and then you also are doing you have a book signing coming up.
Yes.
As well tomorrow on my birthday. Okay.
Happy birthday.
Yes. Okay, on my birthday, Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. Okay.
Excellent. Today's my mom's birthday.
Oh wow! Yeah. See, there you go. Two great women, can't go wrong.
And my sister's birthday.
Oh wow!
Tomorrow.
And awesome. My stepfather's birthday is tomorrow.
See
God
that?
rest his soul.
Just surrounded by all great. But you have a book signing tomorrow. In Brooklyn. Just a little bit about
one's in Newark, New Jersey.
Newark, okay, Jersey.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be in Newark, New Jersey at a place called Taste Venue, 47 Edison Street. So we welcome everyone to come check that out.
Okay. And you're also starting a gathering for women for ages, I think you said 25 to 45.
And you wanted me to change that up a little bit.
You need to change the age range, because that does knock me out of the ballpark, okay?
Well, listen, we'll tailor it to whatever
the needs are, okay?
Exactly. If we don't cater to the ladies, ain't nothing happening.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Just a little bit about that in terms of your design on that is really the hope to do what?
Well, with the Ladies Night Out event, this is an opportunity for a sophisticated group of women to come together and socialize with one another. in addition to the Break Every Chain movement with the brothers, I am bringing together the sisters. And we need to have a strong sisterhood amongst them. So with the ladies' night out, we have an evening of music, food, wine, and networking. So the ladies that get together, they network for an hour. We ask relationship questions. And there's also a male panel. And also we do a scene where we act out how to approach a man. So we want to get some feedback on that to show women an effective way to get the man that they want without being too aggressive.
Okay, without being too aggressive. Okay.
Right.
So we are retraining women in their way of thinking, because they need to break some chains too.
I like to say it that we are showing women how to tap into their true power as a woman.
Right, and in order to do that, you have to break some chains.
Absolutely.
You have to let go, and you have to know yourself in order to break the chain, and whether or not you want to break it. So that's a whole retraining. It's like a rebirthing of a new woman that will be able to walk up or to attract a gentleman without the things that we see today on reality TV and so forth, okay? Because it depicts women in a whole nother light.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and that's totally just another story. But nonetheless, what else do you have going on in terms? You have a book before this particular Break Every Chain book. You have a book on?
Yes, the first book was for the ladies called Food, Sex, and Peace of Mind, What a Woman Needs to Know to Keep a Man. And what that book touches on is showing women how to value themselves and know their worth. I always tell women the best person that you can date is yourself. So if you can enjoy yourself, enjoy being single, you'll look forward to being a couple.
Right. And that's definitely something that it's a lot of work in that, for sure, for a lot of women and so forth. But we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
Are you planning an event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn? Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act 1 will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote, or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure. You'll be happy you did.
Is this reality? No, I don't feel okay. I need my kaleidoscope of colors to lead the way. I'm riding in my car and I'm coming on around the bend. It's a chase, this twisted race. I'll be on top again. I'm not gonna let you take me down. It's gonna be the whole 9 yards or nothing.
Stretching under sedation or manipulation under anesthesia is a very gentle, very precise procedure to very slowly release any scar tissue that is formed as a result of a traumatic injury. Many people ask, how does this work? Will I get hurt? Will you stretch me too far? We only stretch the body part to its normal range of motion. After completing the post-MUA rehabilitation program, it's very common that our patients say to us, hey, I can play ball with my kid again. Hey, I can bowl again. Hey, I can enjoy hiking again. This is what makes it rewarding to us as practitioners.
Welcome back to I Have a Dream 2. I'm here with two great men, Nathan Bass and Ash Shy B. That's what I'm going to leave it as that, okay? Ash Shy B is an author. He's a life relationship expert, okay? He has a book out called Break Every Chain. It is written specifically for men to help to empower young boys, okay, that perhaps can turn them into great men. And also for older men or men that want to be greater men.
Yes.
So, but Nathan, you're here as well, and you've been listening to the whole story here. Is anything that you want to add to this from your background and where you've redefined yourself?
Well, I first of all want to say how blessed I feel just too on this evening, because it's a great topic, and there are so many young boys that really need. And so we work diligently every day to try to do what we can for them, but we need more men to step up, even if it's not your biological son. Make them your son, take them under your wing, show them some things. There's many things, because I know what it's like to not have a father from the age of 9, well, from the age of maybe 5 to 9. I didn't have my father there, and my mom remarried. But she always taught me never anything bad against my father. She would always say, "That's still your dad. He loves you." And I was able to be in his life in the latter parts of his life here on earth. And we had a great relationship because she didn't poison me about my father, even though he was not there. So that's one thing that we can also teach, to let them know, listen, that's still your father, and you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for your father. And teach them to look beyond the pains and the hurts that they had to deal with in their life, and also teach them to forgive, because if they don't forgive, then they give that situation or that person power over them. And so it's a good topic tonight, because it teaches us to continue moving forward and persevering in our youth and our young men, to teach them that just because life has been this way, it doesn't have to stay that way.
Absolutely.
You can pick your destiny, and whatsoever things you desire when you pray, if you believe that you receive them, you shall have them. So there's power in the tongue, and right now I'm teaching in our church that we can will things to happen in our lives. We can will them, and so therefore I will peace for me, I will joy and success for me, and prosperity for me. I will this, and this is what I want to teach to our young people. So thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, I told you I feel totally blessed. But Ask Shy B, you have a radio show
Not at the moment.
coming up.
Right now, I'm working on new blogs,
Yes.
new video content on my YouTube channel, and I'm extremely excited about the book tour that I'm getting ready to start tomorrow.
Okay.
A 12-city book tour, and I have the dates on my website for everybody to check out, www.askshyb.com.
Okay. And that's CHEYB.com. And so you have your blogs, you have your tours on your books, and your books can be found on Amazon?
Yes, they can purchase books on Amazon, or they can get a signed copy on my website, www.askshyb.com.
Okay. And so what else can you lend to this whole process of breaking every chain?
I think it's extremely important for men like myself and Brother Nathan Best to be vocal about these things, because one of the things that I've noticed in my studies is that men aren't very vocal about their feelings. So to see leaders, entertainers, clergy, people that the kids think are cool, coming out and speaking on the importance of being a great father, a great student, a great brother, a great mentor, that's going to have a huge impact on the community. Because what's happening is the kids are looking up to what they see in the magazines and on the videos. And what they don't realize about the people in the videos is how hard they work.
Right.
All they see is the flashiness and the quick cash and the women and the cars and all stuff. But if these entertainers would just be vocal about what's real, they will change lives.
But even with that, and that could be kind of controversial itself, is what they're allowed to even put out there on mainstream in terms of the music that's put out there. And forget the work. It's just, oh, I emulate this particular rapper or songwriter. And what they put out there is really continuing to be a self-fulfilling prophecy that we won't be able to advance ourselves, okay, because of the music, what we see on TV, you know, with women and how they're dressed and so forth. So I'm willing to go along with the message of break every chain and allow this message to be you know, wide across the country. Nathan?
Yeah, I agree with you 100% there. You know, and we need each other to survive. I'll be praying for all of your ministries there because that's what we need. We need to pull together and not be separate. It doesn't matter who's leading it. We all have the same goal, and we pull together to make that successful because it's not about us. It's about our youth. They're the next generation. They're the next group that's got to carry this. And I don't want what I do to die when I go in the ground. I want it to keep living long after I'm gone.
It's the
Legacy.
It's the legacy.
Yeah, so,
and we don't teach our children how to that legacy. It's everything is in the moment. You know,
Absolutely.
It's for right now, and I got to have, you know, these Jordans and so forth. But why not invest in Jordan stocks? Okay, why don't we teach our kids to do that so that you can buy, you'll have stock, you have ownership, and so forth. But that's the language that needs to be spoken in our communities and in our schools.
We also teach them that they're the head and not the tail. They're above and not beneath. They're the lender, not the borrower. We try to put positive thinking in their mind, teach them entrepreneurship. We want to let them know that you don't just have to rob Peter to pay Paul. You don't have to just, you know, live beneath him. You can do great things and do it in a respect, be an asset to society and not a liability. So these are the things we have to do, but we have to pull together. I just want to make sure that the public hears that we have to pull together. It doesn't matter who's leading the charge as long as we're all moving in the same direction.
Exactly. Proactive about it. I'm going to ask you a question, and given the fact that, again, tomorrow is Martin Luther King's birthday, to have the Selma movie out, what would you say, or what do you think Martin Luther King would say if he were alive today, given what you're doing? How would you answer that or respond to it?
I think that Dr. King would still have a dream. I see that we've greatly progressed. We have a black president, but that's not enough.
Right.
We still need black people on the ground level to work together and move forward together. We always say that it's the white man holding us back. Let me be honest. I have never had a problem with the white man.
Yeah.
The white man has never held me back.
Yeah.
It's my own people.
Come on now.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
My own people. And I think Dr. King would probably stop getting on the microphone and probably get us in the town hall and start talking to us.
Yes. And so
About how we need to move forward.
right. And if we keep the mindset, and when you're on that movement and that challenge, like Dr. King was, the mindset of, well, he was to galvanize thousands and thousands of people that shared in his message. And that's what I say to you. Continue to do the work that you're doing to help continue to galvanize people from across the country. Because when he spoke, everybody stopped and listened. When he spoke, people came together and they joined and they believed in his movement. And people suffered and so forth, but they believed, okay, in what he was trying to do. So I commend you as a young man, okay, to take on this process of changing the language, the thinking, all of these things that are necessary to upbuild our communities.
Absolutely.
Nathan?
And I think in a short version of it, what my brother just said would be considered to me the long version, but the short version if King was here, I think he would say something like, may the best of your past be the worst of your future.
Yes.
I like that.
Right. You know, and it's funny because, well, it's not actually, one of the things that I have come across in terms of where I'm going with this whole process is that Dr. Bennett, Tyrone Bennett, who's an educator, as I said, we are launching What's Your Triple F, which is firm, friendly, and fair. It doesn't have to be in that particular same order, but it is concepts to be implemented in the schools and corporations, businesses, youth organizations, you name it. Because when you're firm, friendly, and fair, okay, and I always use the Eric Gardner case, okay, as a police officer, yes, you have to be firm. And they knew him in the neighborhood, but if they were friendly to him, okay, he'd be alive today. So the concepts, because the NYPD is doing an overhaul of training on how they process and proceed with neighborhood individuals and so forth, and how to deal with them so that we don't continue to see these type of tragedies happen. But we're moving forward, and with Dr. Bennett as well, is to move forward with What's Your Triple F, because if we don't put these concepts, okay, in place for our youth especially, okay, because the foundation starts there, in homes, etc., even from parenting. You have to be firm, okay, as a parent. And then, yes, there's a friendliness that may occur. Like you said, your son, he, horses around with you, but that's what boys do, okay? And we can have that friendly, but I'm also fair when it comes down to discipline, etc. So we're looking at some things there, and in terms of how you can help me put that out there as well and kind of synergize those type of things. So that's the Triple F movement challenge that's going to be taking place starting in February through workshops, seminars, etc. Because there's so much that has to be done in our communities, wherever you may live. You have to be able to put those things out there. And if we change one person's life, we've done a whole lot. We've done a whole lot. So, and again, like I said, I Have a Dream too is about empowerment. It's about redefining your purpose, your place, and your possibilities. And so I'm thankful for both of you men being able to come on and share that. And hopefully other people will hear your story and reach out and say, you know what, I was inspired and motivated by what you have done, and I'd like to be able to, as a mentor or a coach or those type of things, a motivational speaker, to come and, uplift my church, uplift my community, uplift my schools. Because we need that. We have so many societal issues that are happening in today's world. And again, just speaking on societal issues, that I've asked to make an announcement that there's a continued fight. The National Black Leadership Commission on AIDS, okay, run by President and CEO C. Virginia Fields, has asked that we put out there that there's still the fight of AIDS in the black community. And to end it is still an issue. We don't hear really much about it, okay, but there's still community health forums that are necessary. One that will be taking place on February 6th at the Freeport United Methodist Church to begin to get the message out there that we still need to continue and fight. So it is February 6th, 2015, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Freeport United Methodist Church, 46 Pine Street in Freeport, New York. That's considered to be Long Island. So anyone who's interested in coming, they should come out and to the Community Health Forum, because that's still an epidemic.
Definitely.
Okay, and a lot of things we don't speak the language. So again, thank you, both of you gentlemen, for being able to share. And my birthday gift, actually. Okay, I love that. And we'll be back next Wednesday from 6 to 7. You can also follow me on Facebook at Jacqueline Harris. As I Have a Dream too. So thank you and have a great evening.
I wanted to give you a birthday, quick birthday thing.
Yes.
I need you, you need me. We're all a part of God's body. Stand with me, agree with me. We're all a part of God's body. It is His will that every need be supplied. You are important to me, and I need you to survive.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, that will live forever in my heart. Thank you so much. Wow. Yes. There you go, VIP treatment. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, everyone. We'll see you next week.